them are more than pals.
Our show can be a little gay,
But if you're not,
that's okay.
you can listen and have fun either way. Xena, Star Wars, Doctor Who, guests and music and reviews. Game of Thrones, Winona too. We promise there's something for you. She nerds out. We're girls that like nerdy things. Nerdy things.
Hello and welcome to the She Nerds Out podcast. Happy holidays. I'm Kat.
I'm Tara, and I am perplexed by some of the things I've seen this week that we'll talk about.
On today's episode,
Just for clarification, I was speaking Wookiee.
Oh, that's
Is
Wendy.
that-
It was I'm just learning the language, so it was a little rough. But I was saying I'm
good.
Wendy in Wookiee because I've heard a lot of Wookiee speak today. I picked up a few things.
we all have. It's I just cannot wait to talk about that movie. I really am so excited. Today's episode, we're going to be talking about the perfection that is the Star Wars holiday special.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be talking about The Mandalorian season 2 finale. This is like
where
a
I thought you were going with the whole perfection thing. You threw me off a little bit.
Both of these are
fun. Yeah. Mhm.
well, they're both perfect
In their own
very
ways.
different ways. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna get a little cozy. We're going to Cozy Town. We're gonna get all bundled up and talk about some fun Christmas Day activities, including watching movies and stuff like that. So get ready for that. Get your cocoa cooking.
I have my
Boiler?
cocoa.
How do you do that? How do you make cocoa? Stir it up.
You warm up milk and you pour it in the thing with the.
I think
mix.
there's special cows where the milk just comes out.
comes
It's
out
like really
hot.
warm and chocolatey. Mhm.
That's what I thought. Okay.
You gotta have marshmallows.
But first, guys, The Mandalorian.
Mhm.
Season 2 finale, Chapter 16, The Rescue. Now, this is going to be, as always, this is a very spoiler-heavy segment. But if you have not seen this and you want to see it, do not listen to this segment because we are going to talk about some very cool spoilery things. But yeah, let's get into this, guys. What we can get into it in more detail. But of initial reactions, what are we thinking?
Pretty darn cool. That was pretty amazing. That was
Shocking in a good way.
unexpected. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard there were rumors about people speculating that who might show up, what big thing
cool.
they're going to have in the finale. I'm glad I knew
Okay.
none of them. I
Yeah.
knew nothing about it. Very glad I didn't.
Yes. Well, I had a bit of a spoiler. And Wendy, you had said don't avoid spoilers if you haven't seen it. And I didn't listen and I went on the internet. Actually, I saw on Instagram
Yeah.
that Mark Hamill had posted something. And
Mark.
I was like, oh, this is the only reason he would say this is for Mandalorian. So I kind of had an idea of who was going to show up, but it was still incredibly cool.
I kept myself off Twitter and Instagram and mostly Facebook until I got to see it, which took some doing, but I did it, and I'm glad.
It's very smart, Wendy.
Well, so if you don't know by what we've said, Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker showed up, obviously digitally manipulated in a way, but I guess Mark Hamill himself played the part, at least to some extent, right? Physically, did he? I mean, because I know it's Mark Hamill did it, either just voice or physically. I don't know if I had a photo, like a physical double, and then he just did the voice. I'm not sure how that worked.
Well, he was credited as himself, as Mark
Yeah,
Hamill.
and I wonder if he actually showed up on the set to some extent, or if they just did him on his own, or how much he participated in that.
That's a really good question. There must be... Maybe they'll do another documentary about this season.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's a great point. Why tell us now when they can save it
Totally.
for us to all watch?
But yeah, obviously it wasn't him going aggro on all those dark troopers, but maybe they did just to capture his head just so they can kind of get his movement, and then they completely replaced it with whatever that was that we saw.
Are we going to go through this episode kind of part by part?
We should.
I think
we
so.
should dive into this.
I would like to do that.
At least in some capacity. At least building up to the end, because the end's where everything would happen.
But a lot happened in this episode.
It did.
You had some badass women all leading the
Yeah.
way, that's for sure.
That's right.
And that at the beginning when Boba and Bo-Katan, yeah, kind of squared, or he went after them, and then the other Mandalorian girl, I don't know what her name is, but she kicked his ass, or they're kicking each other's
had a good
ass. And it was
fight.
like a really cool fight scene.
Casca Reeves.
Casca. Good
Casca.
job with the fighting.
Casca.
Very believable.
Very
Kind
believable.
of ended in a draw.
Mm-hmm.
It did.
And he's got issues with those Mandalorians because they called him out. And they were like, you are not a Mandalorian. You don't deserve that armor.
Well, they definitely called out Boba Fett as you're not a Mandalorian, and Boba Fett himself said, I never said I was, and which I never thought of till that moment. He was a clone of, I guess, Jango was a Mandalorian, but he was a clone. So interesting development there.
Indeed.
So he's forming his team, and it seems like every time, well, Bo-Katan's big thing is she wants the Darksaber from Moff Gideon. Well, she knows they're going after Moff Gideon. She's pretty obsessed with getting that back.
Yes. Because it was hers, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, now here's the thing. They get in to rescue the doctor, I believe, that doctor from season 1. One of the pilots the one that held the doctor at gunpoint.
Oh, yeah.
He was the big bad in the last season of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh.
Yeah, I was like, I know that voice and that delivery. That's the guy who, he was the big bad guy throughout the last season of Mandalorian.
And was kind
S.H.I.E.L.D.
of like that character was kind of like an undercover. Was he, or was he just like? I mean, he shot his like co-pilot. Was he just kind of? He seemed to be more in the know about who the doctor was, and
right. He seemed. Yeah, he knew what was at stake.
Yeah, and I think it said the other pilot was kind of ready to surrender more, and this guy's like more hardcore.
Yeah, that guy was like, hey, I don't have any problem here. I'm not really with them. Right? And then the guy was like, oh, really? And
now you did.
I'm not like with them.
Right. It's just my job, man. I'm just trying to pay the bills.
But the guy who was holding, like the aggro guy, he was talking some serious shit.
Yeah.
To Cara Dune about Alderaan and
Yeah, he's like, I watch your family explode.
Yeah.
There.
Dude.
We cleanse the filth.
Yeah.
This and that. Yeah.
I will say
dark
that
stuff.
the actor did a lot of smack talking on S.H.I.E.L.D. He's good at it. He's got that good, like, cold-blooded delivery of, like, you're a worthless person you're planning to destroy. And then I was glad he got shot right in the head. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, is he going to be around this whole episode? Good. No. All right.
We saw that come and that character was just going to blow him away.
Totally.
Yeah.
He kind of deserved it.
Mm-hmm.
But he was on the Death Star. And she's like, which one?
Right.
Which
Blew up
one?
both of them.
Right.
And now he's dead.
And then that doctor was very forthcoming with information.
He was
and
pretty
no
easy
one,
to- yeah.
no one seemed to question him even a little bit to see, is all this information he's giving us true? Like no one even thought, how can we trust this? Why can we trust this guy?
Right.
It was just like, oh, really? Okay. And then where are they going to be after that? Oh, okay. Let's make our whole plan around what this guy's saying. No one even brought up the fact that, oh yeah, why the hell would this guy help us? He could be killed for helping. Like,
He was like one of the crew all of a sudden. He was helping them.
Right, exactly. He was just like, and then we're going to go over here. Like he spelled out the whole plan. Oh, the Dark Troopers will be inactive for approximately a few minutes before you'll have just enough time. Like not even to be like, how can we trust that this guy knows?
Right, he could be
this
setting
amount
up
of info that
exactly.
he knows. We have a few minutes before the Dark Troopers activate.
Yeah, he
like,
could be lying about all
could
of
be
it.
setting them up.
He almost like it would be weirder if he wasn't lying,
Right.
I would just think they would question that, or at least come up with a backup plan if all this information that he is giving them for no apparent reason.
Well, thank goodness he was
Just-
lying.
Well,
A
and
bunch
when,
of balderdash. Yeah, thank goodness he was an
Balderdash.
honest war criminal that abducts children. And,
sure, but last season when I feel like Mando and this doctor had a bit of a standoff when he was going to rescue Grogu the
Yes.
first time.
And he did mention he
seems-
was helpful to him.
He was sympathetic. He's like, I don't want to kill the baby. Like
Yeah.
he seemed like he cared about Grogu, and maybe Mando remembered that and knew he was like an
think it
actual
helped.
nice
And
guy.
just decided he could trust him with
Yeah.
everything. Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
Well, it worked.
I just wanted one person. I just thought surely one of these people in this room are at least going to question him.
Yeah.
Right.
How do we know we can trust him? well, then he can say, well, I care about the baby again. Like remind us a little bit.
It's a very good point.
Because they don't all know that. Like not even Ming-Na's character is going to question him or, like how, or even Boba, how can we trust this guy,
That's a good point.
Yeah. You just walked blindly.
That's right.
Following his advice.
I mean, he's a doctor. You can trust a doctor, right?
That's true. I forgot about that.
Well, they come up with a plan, thanks to the doctor's help, which turned out to be right. And it's they're gonna drive in the that way cool Imperial cruiser, and pretend to be chased by Slave One. Boba Fett's pretending to attack, and Bo-Katan's up there saying, "Hey, we need help." They go over to the big starship, Imperial starship. And she's like, we gotta land, we're under attack, and they're questioning it. They're like, hey, we'll send out some TIE fighters, we'll help you. And let me tell you, those TIE fighters swinging into position to go down that tube was cool.
Yes.
That was so cool. I thought, this is what's so cool about the show is like, how many times have we seen TIE fighters be deployed off the ship,
exactly.
right? But we've never seen that view of it where you like follow it out the thing. Like that was so cool.
They just come out of some hole somewhere. That's all we know. We don't know how. Right. Yeah.
And that was awesome. Watching them swing into place.
Yeah. And then just when it shot out and you're like, oh, and you're almost from the perspective of the TIE. Oh, it was great.
Yeah. No, that was cool. That was very cool. And her plan is to land in that tube, which causes a great deal of distress. Like Moff Gideon, he kind of knows something's going down. Yeah. You can tell he's kind of like,
he ain't dumb.
Something's not right here, but
it's fishy.
But they land and the TIE fighters come out.
Let's say they crash land.
It's not a pretty landing.
It is not.
But they don't run into the TIE fighter that's hanging
out. They avoid that. But one of my favorite lines is from one of the random stormtroopers after they've crash landed. The doors opening. He's like, oh, what are you doing? You can't have that thing in here. Get out. We got to get this thing out of the way.
Yeah.
It's just so random. Like, oh.
What are you doing?
What are you doing? That's not allowed.
Come on, man. You can't do that.
It reminds me of all those chase scenes like in regular movies where there's a car chase and they blow through a toll booth and the toll guy's like, you owe me for that toll. There's like 50 cop cars chasing after him like, oh, I'll owe me for tolls.
I'm going to get in trouble.
Right. Well, then he got shot, I assume, because they came out and shot everybody. Yeah. The women came out and started tearing it up.
Yes.
Clear the deck. Yeah, the women.
It was ladies' night.
And then I realized that I was watching 4 badass women carry their own, and it fully believable to me. A lot of times, it's kind of I don't feel as enthralled by some lady action people, but these 4 women, I felt like they could legitimately kick someone's ass.
Oh yeah.
And they made it look so believable to me.
I mean, you got Ming-Na. Come on. She's badass.
And
Cara Dune, whatever you think of the lady.
It. I mean, damn.
The actress that plays Cara Dune, who we won't ever say her real name, that actress can legitimately kick almost anyone's ass. So yeah, they've casted really believable actors. And yeah, exactly. Katie Sackhoff, are you kidding? Forget it. Like, so brilliant casting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I was down for that because they're shooting everybody.
So they're going to go in 2 groups. They're like, we're gonna break up. One group's gonna go here, one group's gonna go here. And Mando says, "I'm going alone. I'm on my own." And they're like, "Okay, then we'll be a group."
Okay.
So then it's Mando's kind of the diversion, running around trying to find the child.
Yes,
Grogu.
I like the scene where they're shooting the troopers are falling into that weird like force field thing and falling out the ship, and then I think the 2 Mandalorians, Katie and the other one, kind of fly off to the side, and then more stormtroopers show up and they like, swoop in and shoot them all down. That was a
great scene on the bridge there.
And then of course Cara Dune's gun gets stuck at some point. It jams, and so she starts just smacking them around. Thank God stormtroopers can't shoot.
/ cannon gets jammed.
Yes.
And then she just has to hit it just right for it.
Yeah. That was fun. I did like that. Meanwhile, Mandalorian, our main Mandalorian, is sneaking around to get to the Dark Troopers. And I guess he wants to, the plan is to shut the doors on them and send them out the airlock.
And you know that
Good plan.
Moff Gideon is onto them because he says, "Prepare the troopers," and then you see him kind of start up, and you're like, "Oh God, they only have a few minutes now," because we're all believing what the doctor said. So
apparently,
so when Mando starts walking by, they all burst out of their little shells, and it's terrifying. Those dark troopers are so scary to me.
So awesome.
They did such a great job with them because, and even the way the camera moved when they moved to make you almost feel the weight of their the metal hitting the floor. It was really cool. I noticed there was like some jiggle in there.
That's cool.
I'll watch that again.
Nice.
A little bit of bounce.
And the music too is like
and the
sort of like
sound
like
effect. Yeah,
heavy metal, electric kind of thing going on. Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, so Mando, he's walking by when this happens, and he's like, "Oh shit!" And he's like, "Ah!" And he's like trying to shut
Bad
the door.
timing.
He almost has him, and then one gets through. The creepy hand gets in there.
Yeah, one wasn't enough.
Then you learn how legit they really are,
and how legit that Mandalorian armor really is.
And thank God for that spear.
In the head.
Yeah,
Thank God that he got that spear, because everything else he had was useless.
Pretty much.
But all you got to do is just
pounded
stick a
into
little pencil in there and jam them up.
I mean, it's not exactly a pencil.
The punching of Mando's head by the Dark Trooper was a little like disturbing, like in a interesting, I was like, damn, because you felt that too.
Well, like how it didn't even budge, like it didn't even bend. It was just like,
no.
Yeah, it was cool.
His head's rattling around in there.
But like, imagine if he wasn't wearing the helmet. Like, the thing is just going to like
take
punch a hole through his skull and not going to stop.
He would just be squished.
Going to stop.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, they did it. You're right, Tara. They did a great job in making those things really, really scary and menacing.
Yeah, and they just kept coming, and that was the thing. You're like, nothing Mando has is enough to stop him. Oh, God. Yeah. And like, you're really worrying about him. And again, this is one, and then you start to feel, they're like, oh, no, there's like 50 more in there.
Yes. Oh, no.
No.
They're like Terminators, like Star Wars Terminators.
Yeah. They're so scary.
Yeah.
And they're like fast, and it's just like, you have no time to, there's not even that much suspense because they're just coming at you, and you really felt the panic of Mando as he's trying to fight and find a way that will work.
Brilliant.
Yes, and then finally his jabbing with his Mando
pencil
stick works. And he basically like short circuits him, and he like stabs him in the neck area.
I think they have that weak spot. Yeah.
Right, yeah. And then he uses, and then meanwhile, like you said, the scary dark troopers are trying to punch through the wall, and they're getting through the wall, and you're like, oh my God.
Not good, Mando.
Thank God for airlocks, huh?
And he
Sucks
runs
right out.
Yeah, and I was thinking, why would they just be in the airlock? But I guess they can. That's where they deploy.
They can deploy
from.
from.
I'm sure they can deploy, but they probably have to prepare them to deploy.
Right,
but
they were not ready for it.
And,
no.
Yeah, they got sucked out the airlock, and you're like, woohoo! And then I was like, but I'm pretty sure they can just fly.
Right.
I didn't. I was like, you know what? Let's worry about that. That's for another day.
That's easy. They're. We don't have to worry about them anymore.
So they're gone for a little while.
And then Mando discovers where little Grogu is.
Grogu.
And who else is with Grogu but Moff Gideon holding the Darksaber over little Grogu's head.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to cut this baby, even though I need this baby.
Teasing him with it.
And I like how then it turns into like, look, I'm done with this kid. I just want the Darksaber. You just want the kid. I know that Bo-Katan just wants this Darksaber. Just get the kid. I got no problem with you. Take the kid. I'm done with it. So Mando kind of like goes to get the kid. And the whole time I'm thinking, it can't be this easy.
Right. And by the way, he's already promised Bo-Katan to help her get the Darksaber. And that's why they even agreed to come help them. But when he's given this proposition, it's like, okay, yeah, fine. Keep the saber, whatever.
That's what he said. He's
like,
I don't
probably
care.
found a way to do both, but
he says, I don't care about it. I just want the kid.
With the baby shackles. And
that's right, the baby shackles.
Or did he cut the baby shackles off? I can't remember if
I can't
remember if he did at that
some point. The baby had him on, but I don't remember. But of course, as Mando's bending down to pick up little Grogu, Moff Gideon just says, "Oh, smack!" and just starts beating him with the Darksaber. Luckily, again, the armor is ridiculously cool.
Thank God for that armor.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it turns into quite the battle.
Yeah, that is intense too.
Another big battle with the Beskar armor and stuff. But eventually, Mando prevails.
Yeah, he didn't put up as good of a fight as the Dark Trooper did, honestly.
No.
Well, no, but Dark Troopers,
I know, but yeah. So then he gets the saber. He picks up the saber, and Moff Gideon is just there, and he's going to take him to the bridge where he goes to meet everybody else, and he picks up little Grogu. He's like, yeah, and off they go to the bridge.
But here's a fun twist now. He's like, oh, guess what? Bo-Katan wants this Darksaber, but now you have the Darksaber, and the only way Bo-Katan can get it is to defeat you and get it.
This is some bullshit. They walk into the bridge. He's got the saber. It's literally like hanging flaccid off to this. He's like carrying it like it's no big deal. And he's like,
who cares?
Yeah, he's like, here. Like just looks like a hunk of metal. He's like, whatever.
He's like, he's right.
And that's when he breaks the, ha, you fool.
You fool.
She can't take it unless she basically kills you.
She's right. She's like,
and
right.
Bo-Katan's like, it's true.
Here's something I'm reading, though. Apparently
true.
in Rebels, Sabine Wren, I don't know who that is, gave the Darksaber to Bo-Katan, who by virtue of holding the weapon became the new ruler of the Mandalorians without a fight. So this will probably be addressed in the 3rd season. So, yeah, so there may be a loophole that we...
Yeah, and part of me thought they were going to fight right then, and I thought, no, we don't need that right now.
I know.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
Let's just get off the ship with the baby. Right. We'll be fine.
Right.
But no, something is back. The Dark Troopers have returned. And they just, like Tara said,
they did a lap around the ship.
They did a lap, flew back.
Let's warm up, guys. Let's do a lap, right? Come on, bring it in.
So they line up. And here at this moment is where I start thinking, all right, here's what's running through my head. All these Dark Troopers are back.
Mm-hmm.
That we've seen that it took all this from Mando to beat them. There's no way they're going to defeat all these. To beat one.
They're screwed.
Platoon.
So I started thinking, some Jedi, something's going to have to happen. And I thought it was going to be Grogu. I started thinking at this point, and then the X-Wing flies in, and I think, oh, the Rebels are here. Like that Rebel force that Kara's, people.
Yeah, and there was even the line, I forget who said it, that was like, oh, just one X-Wing? And then I thought,
we're saved.
Like, 50 more we're gonna jump in from hyperspace to be there, right? But no.
And then I thought, okay, I started thinking, okay, I think a Jedi is going to have to play a part here.
Sure.
Maybe it's Ahsoka Tano. And then all of a sudden you see this dark figure in a cloak.
Yes.
In black. And I'm like, holy crap. So then my mind starts thinking, how are they going to do this? Because I'm pretty darn sure this is Luke. How are they going to make it Luke? So that's where I was at that point. But I like how they did it. They showed him fighting on like the surveillance video.
Yeah, that was so cool.
That was cool.
Yeah.
See the green lightsaber.
And very much the look and feel of Darth Vader at the end of Rogue One.
Totally.
Like you finally got to see Darth Vader, total badass. You get to see Luke do. I mean, you've seen Luke fight pretty cool before, but here's another.
He makes it look easy.
Moment.
He just defeats the lightsaber. Can definitely cut through the Dark Trooper
That's
armor.
Right.
Because he was like, and in fact, I love the move where he would pull them to him with the force. He literally pulled him to him, set him up like a baseball, and then whacked the saber and cut him in half.
I think I've done that in video games before.
Like, just come over.
I think I've done that same thing.
Yeah.
It is satisfying.
Yeah, that was pretty great. Pretty epic.
Yes.
So, were you onto this cat?
There was a real feeling of dread in there when they were starting to pound through those
they were.
Oh, that's right. They're like, pounding. Boom, boom,
yeah.
boom. Yeah. No, you're right. It was like, how are they possibly going to get out of this? Because they're going to get mowed down.
Moff Gideon's all smug. He's like, me and the baby are going to be fine. I'm
going to be alive. You're not.
So when did you figure? Oh, you knew. You said you kind of been spoiled.
Unfortunately, I did. So as soon as when that X-Wing showed up, and then I think it was Cara Dune who says, "Oh, great, an X-Wing," like very snarky, which I respect. I was like, "Oh, fuck, man, that's Luke Skywalker." Luke Skywalker is going to come and rescue them, and he certainly did. But like you, I was like, "Okay, how are they going to do this? Is the cloak going to be down the whole time?" Or are they going to do some sort of like, what they did at the end of Rogue One with Leia and Tarkin, and it was pretty good. So it's actually he takes the. Well, first of all, nobody knows who he is. No one I guess
true.
in my mind,
the hero of the
he's now destroyed 2. I guess he only destroyed the first Death Star, but he's a rebel hero. Like, isn't he a general or commander?
I feel like
Yeah,
they would have
he won
maybe
a
heard
medal.
of him.
He did win a medal. You're absolutely right. Like,
he did win a medal.
I assumed if they would have
Boba
put it together.
Fett knows who he is.
He does, but he wasn't
Boba Fett
there.
wasn't there though. That's true.
No, Boba Fett probably has some beef with Luke Skywalker.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, no, I just assumed that he would have been a known quantity in the universe, especially even if they don't know what he looks like.
Especially Kara having been a part of the Rebel.
Totally. And she was wasn't she on Endor?
Yeah.
Wasn't she like anyways. That was kind of weird to me. That seemed like a bit of a plot loop. At least Kara should have known who he was.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't. And they didn't really check to make sure that he was a good guy. They're just like, oh, here's the baby. But
they gave up the baby so easily.
But
yeah, because he's a Jedi. The baby seemed fine with it because he's a baby.
That's true. He did.
No.
He did seem kind of. He seemed excited to be to see Luke.
He could tell.
Grogu did.
I will say, I was. It did give me the fun shock when R2 rolled out.
That was a nice little touch.
Yeah,
that was a nice bonus.
He's there too.
Yeah, that's so cool.
That was fun.
What did you think of the CG version of Luke Skywalker?
I thought it was pretty good, especially, I mean, you could still tell. They haven't gotten it 100% perfect, but I thought it worked in the sense that, at the beginning of Return of the Jedi, when he's talking to Jabba, he is more still. Several parts through Return of the Jedi, he is very calm, very still, not a lot of movement, very much.
That helps.
When he was, I thought it was not that, it wasn't like you went from Empire Luke to this Luke. I mean, he kind of was like this in Jedi, so it wasn't a stretch.
It's true.
It didn't take me out of it. You know, knowing that he wasn't really there, but
they did a good job.
They did a great,
awesome.
I thought it was good, and I didn't. I guess it was Hamill's real voice. It sounded like somebody doing a Mark Hamill impersonation. Yeah.
I actually didn't think it was him until I saw his name in the credits.
Yeah, because he has a much gruffer voice
at
now.
Point. Yeah, because his voice isn't like that now. So it could have. I don't know. I'm sure it will come out how they did it, but
I'd love to see it. Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah,
I'm sure there'll be
a fun one to watch.
Episode about it. Yeah. But no, great. What a great payoff. It's so fun that Jon Favreau gets to play with all the toys in the sandbox. You know, you would think it's like, look, Favreau, you can have Boba Fett, you can't have Luke Skywalker. Like, you're crazy, man. No way. It seems like he can just play with anybody he wants to.
So cool.
So cool. And now, who's going to show up next? You know,
right? Man,
that's so exciting. Awesome. So good.
And it was some pretty sweet sad goodbyes with.
Oh yeah,
that was great.
Taking off the helmet.
Okay, so taking off the helmet. So we've heard these rumors, right, earlier this year that maybe Pedro Pascal was a little bummed that he didn't get to have any FaceTime on this great, huge hit of a show that everyone loves and talks about, because you never see him. So now twice this season he takes his helmet off. Do we think that was because he insisted on it?
I think that's got something to do with it. I think it works, though.
I think it worked, though. I thought it was really well done, the ways that they did it. And I'm glad that they showed his face at those times, especially.
This time is
kind of fine
especially.
with it, too.
The first time was like, okay. Sure.
You could feel it being written for him the first time. This time it felt like it should happen. And
it does.
And I feel like
it was a really
helps.
sweet moment.
It was a very
sweet
moment.
See his face.
You're right.
Yeah.
And I feel like it would be cool if he never took it off, but I'm kind of okay every once in a while seeing the dude under the armor.
And I feel like they're moving in that way because of Bo-Katan and the other Mandalorians that don't, and Boba Fett's not technically a Mandalorian, but
he also has,
just he's learning new ways of doing
Has
things.
Boba Fett taken off the helmet since he has put it back on? Since he's gotten his armor back?
I don't know, but I don't know if they've just been hanging out,
right,
like in a place where he wouldn't want it on. I can't remember.
I don't think he has. I like how, though, it was all shined up after he got it. Like, next time he's on, he shined it up after.
That's right.
Pedro Pascal was giving me some real Nathan Fillion vibes
again
when he took that helmet off again, big time this time, even more. It's the mouth and the eyes, and
Have you seen Nathan Fillion lately?
Yeah, and like The Rookie.
Yeah,
not that I watch the show, but I see him.
He's kind of skinny and like cut now.
He got really thin.
Yeah, I don't like it.
When he started The Rookie, he wasn't, but
I don't like it.
Now he is much more. Yeah,
I like Pedro Pascal's version of Nathan Fillion better.
Yeah, he's just a good in between. You know, yeah.
But it was a very touching moment, and you know, Luke said, "Yeah, he wants your permission. He wants you to be okay with him coming with me." That's what he says, basically. So he takes off the old helmet. So,
do you think we see Grogu next season?
I mean, I fucking hope so.
Yeah, that would be so.
We goddamn better.
They'd have to do some crazy stuff to like make up for the lack of Grogu, and not that the show's not amazing on its own, but just the disappointment and of like not seeing.
Well, Grogu. And Grogu's the biggest thing from that show.
He's hard to
obsessed
overcome.
With Baby Yoda.
Absolutely,
Grogu.
He's the heart.
He can't let that go.
Their relationship is sort of the heart of that show. It humanizes Mando.
Well, and someone pointed out, you know, they're like, yeah, Luke's taking Grogu to train. And you're like, oh, crap, we remember what happened. Like when he was training the Jedi and Kylo Ren got all freaked out. So you don't know how far in the future that is. Doesn't mean little Grogu was still around. And then there's all this talk in the sequels of, you know, The Last Jedi and Rey. But they don't know. Maybe they just don't know Grogu's out there.
Oh, boy.
Living a good life. Because Yoda species lives to be 100, 800 years old. They live a long time.
That Baby Yoda in some way sacrifices himself to save Mando to, when there's got to be some big quest for season 3, right?
Oh, you think?
Or 4, like whenever we get there, but we see him again.
Oh, boy.
And he uses the Force because it has to be done. There's no other way to save them.
We gotta see the baby back.
The baby's baby back. I
baby
want
back,
my
baby back.
Grogu, you're so cute. Yeah.
Well,
I love that.
Are there any other shows that are going to be coming out next year that we're looking forward to that may have been taken at the end of this episode?
So, do you think this is a new show? Or is this the next season? Is this what season 3 is?
This is a new show.
So let's talk about it.
Well, because I remember hearing someone speculating.
Oh, so
I think I sent y'all that article. Yeah, it's a show. Because they were saying that they were concerned because they knew Boba Fett was filming something. And they're like, they did not announce the Boba Fett series at the Disney event. So they're like, that's when they started getting all freaked out and speculating that does Mandalorian die because of Pedro Pascal's issues, and then Boba Fett's going to take his place on Mandalorian, and there was that whole concern. And so partly when I was watching the finale, I'm thinking, oh God, is Mando going to die? Yeah. And then he didn't. And then, of course, I think they didn't announce it because they wanted this thing at the end to have people say, holy crap, it's a Boba Fett show. But I've heard word that they are filming it right now.
That's brilliant.
Or soon. Yeah.
That all makes sense now.
Yeah.
So let's talk about this.
Ming-Na.
Yeah. It's just
what a cool way to introduce it.
I'm so excited for her. She just not only does she play like a badass character, but she gets to now be part of the spinoff.
Yeah.
And, continue to be badass. Okay. So the credits end. And then do we see them? No, we just see, it's just like an establishing shot of Jabba's palace.
You got and you get the double suns, twin suns. Then it goes over and you see Jabba's palace.
Yep.
And then you see his henchman, his sidekick, put on a few pounds since the days.
So good.
Sitting in that big old chair.
He's getting used to his new gig. He likes it.
Yeah, he's like, he took over. Jabba's out. You got to have a new bad guy step in. So he did. But I like how they aged him. They made him a little chunkier.
That was so good. So funny.
Then all of a sudden you hear, the little Gamorrean guards walking around, want to get shot.
It's basically like a kind of a deja vu of when Luke comes to Jabba's palace. It's pretty good.
Yeah. And here comes Fennec Shan, is it? Ming-Na Wen?
Yes.
Fennec?
Yeah. Fennec Shan. You're absolutely right.
Fennec Shan, yeah.
You got it.
And, yeah. So here she comes. I like how she shoots all these guys, and then the slave girl sees her, and it's like, oh my God, I'm going to get shot. And she's like, oh no, I'm freeing you. Shoots the lock.
Get out of here.
Get out of here.
Get out of here.
Yeah. And here comes Boba.
He just sits down. Fennec grabs something to drink. She's like, all right, now what are we doing?
Yeah, she just chilling.
She's like, what now? What are we doing now,
With her
boss?
large
Drinking
gun.
some blue juice, getting a little drink. That's gonna be cool. I'm looking for and I like it's the Book of Boba Fett.
The Book of Boba
Makes
Fett.
it sound pretty epic.
So what do we think this is then? Is like he now is he gonna become like a crime lord or
we
something?
gotta say, well, he kills him and then he takes the throne. Boba sits in the big chair, and
for sure.
Fennec just comes up behind him like, "Oh yeah,
I'm with you."
Yeah, it was really cute.
Boba Fett. Here's the thing. I mean, he's always been a bounty hunter mercenary guy, so I don't think they can make him. I mean, they kind of already took Mandalorian that you thought maybe he was going to be the bounty hunter badass, but then he fell in love with a baby. And so he's kind of like a good dude, definitely a good dude. So maybe Boba's going to fill that, like the anti-hero Breaking Bad kind of guy. Like he's good, but he's not that good. Like he just plain out shot that dude on the throne, didn't give him a chance to run off. He's like, I'm shooting you, I'm taking your throne.
Yeah, maybe he's gonna go kill a bunch of really like worse guys, like bad guys.
Right. Maybe. I'm very excited to see.
Oh my god, so good! It's Christmas, next Christmas, right? We have a
2021,
year before
December 2021.
I give it 5 rainbows the whole season.
Yeah, that's fair. I support
Star Wars. I tell you, it's like you said with the TIE fighter thing. They took things that they're so good at taking little things like that and just expanding it. Like, how do the TIE fighters get out? Let's show it and make it awesome. Just some of the fight scenes this year have been so epic. I mean, not fight, but the chase, like X-Wing's chasing his ship. Oh yeah, he doesn't have a ship anymore. They got to figure that out too.
So then how do we? So are we going to just pick up in that? Pick up where that last scene on that?
I don't know if you pick up the very last scene, but you got to pick up pretty close because you got Bo-Katan wanting her Darksaber.
Exactly.
You've got to do something with Moff Gideon. I could see it starting. Maybe they've just delivered. I mean, I assume Cara Dune takes them to Rebels somewhere to imprison. I feel like he'll be around though. You got to figure out the Bo-Katan thing. I don't know. I feel like they can't go too far. I can't imagine they'll just say, well, they found a loophole. He gave her the Darksaber all as well. I think they'll.
Well,
right. No,
maybe
they'll settle that.
Maybe he goes and helps Bo-Katan take back Mandalore.
Right. Yeah. Mandalore seems to be a big theme. Probably where they're going with that.
Awesome. So good.
Cool. That'd be fun.
Well, speaking of Star Wars, we can't give every Star Wars thing 5 rainbows.
Speaking of excellence.
Oh, yeah. Lord.
So let's talk about one thing that comes to mind
like
that
what?
Might not get 5 rainbows. That is this week's SNOP Holiday Film Festival. We picked the Star Wars Holiday Special, which is as long as a movie.
It is, man. They committed to that.
Yeah. An hour and 37 minutes of content, if you want to call it that.
There's a version you can watch that's longer because it keeps the old school commercials from 1978. I didn't do that one because I didn't have time.
That was a nice break in between.
Well, I liked the beginning of the one I watched said something like Incredible Hulk is not showing.
Yeah, it was like, and it had Wonder Woman and then
Wonder Woman.
Incredible
that was
Hulk.
it.
That
so
was pretty cool. Be shown tonight.
Wonder Woman and the Hulk. It took over those 2 shows. That is so cool. Come on, that's like how 70s can you be?
Nerds were having a good time back then.
Oh my god, so good.
Yeah, and I have never seen this before, so this was new to me. And for some reason, I thought it was only an hour. And then when we watched it on YouTube, right? Well, we all 3 watched it. Yes. It's only on YouTube. That's the only place you can. Well, I don't know. That's the main place we found it.
Yeah. That's a good question.
So then I saw that it's an hour and 37. Like, oh my God. And I didn't realize that until I was about 3 minutes in.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh.
I told Tara, you can forward through some of the musical numbers if you want.
Some of them are really long. They just keep going.
Okay, we'll get to that, Kat. We'll get to that.
Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry.
Jeez. Okay.
Yeah. So, do you want to kick us off here?
Yeah, I took pretty copious notes on.
I wrote Tara and I said, "You have to make sure you watch this. We need your perspective."
It's really your. I'm just so excited to hear what you have to say.
So the opening scene, we see Han and Chewie trying to outrun. Is it TIE fighters? I couldn't see who was behind them because they use a lot of extreme close-ups in this, especially with Chewie.
Well, they're reusing Star Wars footage.
There's a lot of footage.
They introduce like the cast. They give, I think
70s.
there's that opening scene, and then I think they go to the introductions.
I think you're right.
Yeah,
very cheesy.
It was super cheesy. They're like, how am I going to get you back for Light Day is the holiday.
Life Day.
Life? It's life.
Yeah.
I thought they were saying light the whole time.
Life Day. Well, they did whole life. It's Life Day.
Oh, Life Day. Okay, well, I will note that for the rest of my notes.
Change your notes. Typo.
So Chewie's trying to get home to his family for Life Day.
Yeah, it's the most important day of the year, Tara.
Yeah, the most important day of the year. So they're on this quest.
Yes.
Then we're introduced, it kind of cuts away, sets it all up for the holiday special. We'll get the little intro.
Yeah.
And we're introduced to Chewbacca's family.
Yep.
They are terrifying. I'm so disturbed by that. So we have his dad, Itchy.
Itchy, yeah. Who, by the way, looks like
Mala.
Itchy looks like the abominable snowman from the Matterhorn.
Yeah,
What's going on with his chin? What is happening?
I don't know. I wrote that the puppet. Oh God, it's really creepy. It's like an unhinged jaw. It's so creepy. But we can't forget his son, Lumpy.
Itchy has been through some shit.
In it. That's cool.
Oh my God, this is a start.
Look at B. Arthur.
Listen,
this is career path follows B. Arthur in this
star-studded. This is like in the 70s. Yeah. These were big. These were big names.
I wrote that like the whole the whole movie, like everybody's in this.
Yeah, very big names.
Yeah, huge names, and I was impressed by that. I thought, even James Earl Jones voiced Darth Vader.
Sure. Hey, you weren't alive, Tara. Let me tell you, nothing.
By the way,
in the whole world.
I was 1 year old when this came out.
You were 1. You don't know. Nothing in the entire world was as big as Star Wars.
Yeah.
So Star Wars could have gotten anybody. I'm guessing. I mean, I don't know. Like, maybe not. Maybe they thought it was cheesy then too. But Star Wars could do whatever they wanted. And they chose.
Well, they did. And
and these names were big for TV. Like B. Arthur.
Yeah.
Art Carney is like a legend, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And Harvey Korman, he was like super big star. He was, Carol Burnett show. So yeah, like these are big TV names.
Carol,
for sure.
big singer.
Big deal. Big deal.
Yeah. So we get our
Starship
first.
Apparently was the band. At least
yes, Jefferson Starship. I know. I was like, wow, this is a star-studded cast. And that's pretty much where the part where I was impressed ended.
If you had stopped there, you'd have been like, well, that's amazing.
Okay. During still the introduction.
Sorry, yes.
We got our first glimpse of Mark Hamill.
Oh my gosh.
Who I saw, and I was like, who looks just like Ellen DeGeneres?
Yes. He's wearing makeup. Why is he wearing
like eyeliner on?
Yeah.
And like his hair is super blonde.
Very
I was
strange.
like, oh, he's very feminine looking.
But hold on, before we move on, I'd like to mention that the house that Chewie and his family live in, it's really nice. It's a big open floor plan.
Nice. It's got like upgrades.
I'm
it's
into
got like
it.
a really nice stove in the middle.
Yeah, no, the kitchen is nice and open. Like, it's much better,
very
much
nice
nicer than my
floor
kitchen.
Yeah, it really is. They have a lot of amenities there.
Okay, so
they certainly don't live in a cave or anything.
No, Chewie's doing okay. He's doing okay.
Yeah. So it opens, and some, they're very high up. They're like kind of in the trees, and there's like a 200-foot drop down, and it looks like everybody's homes are kind of up.
Tree homes.
Tree homes.
Sure.
So we get our opening scene, which opens in Chewie's family room.
Yeah.
But Chewie's not there. It's just, and I even put in a very humanish living room. They have a lot of the same amenities as we do.
They do.
So this is how we come to find his family in the living room. Dad, Itchy, sits on the couch and works on a toy airplane.
Sure, yeah.
Lumpy.
X-Wing, yeah.
My first conclusion is that he's a brat. And Mala, he's just running around and screaming. Mala's working in the kitchen.
Lumpy gets done a little dirty here. I feel like Lumpy...
He's an innocent kid.
He is.
Well, maybe if we could understand what Lumpy was saying. But I recorded the first 12 and a half minutes of this.
Oh.
Is this a series of grunting? Like Chewie or the Wookiee speak.
Okay. Very good.
with no subtitles.
Okay. Oh, that's true. We actually have no idea.
have to look
what
at
they're
the
saying.
facial expressions and tone. That's where we really get a good look at Itchy's terrifying jaw situation.
Yeah. It's a good point. We have no idea what they're saying.
So I did notice, and then for some reason, Lumpy goes out on the balcony and he like walks along it. Again, we're like at least 200 feet in the air. He just like walks. That's how he gets to the other room. That was very weird, confusing for me.
He had to take out the trash, right? Mala made him take out the trash, so he's messing around. He's having a good time. He's like, I might as well just almost die by walking across this railing.
And then,
I would like to tell you some trivia. The Mala, which I thought was Nala, but it's Mala with an M, Lumpy and Itchy are actual nicknames. Their true names are Malatubuk, Lumpawarump, and Atichikuk.
Sure.
Okay.
So, just so you'll know their true names.
Thanks, Wendy.
And Itchy.
Sure.
And Mala.
We'll use their full names from now on.
So I did note that the music at this point was nice.
Okay.
The music, like during the open, it was very, the theme, like Star Wars.
Great.
You got the nice kind of, it's very pretty.
Okay.
Then Lumpy's back from whatever he was doing.
Walking on his rail.
And then he and Grandpa Itchy decide to watch I don't know how to describe it. I have it in my notes described as watch weird circus fairies that then become life-size that are straight out of Pan's Labyrinth.
Yeah, it's a little modern interpretive dance.
Yeah.
So they're watching like the hologram.
Yeah. It looks like it's
a
a hollow
tiny circus.
It's like a hollow chessboard, right?
Yeah.
Kind of like what's on the Falcon.
Who knew it also did whatever this is.
Yeah.
They were terrifying. The music then went to a very terrifying circusy hybrid. I don't know.
Yeah, this was the first place I started fast forwarding.
Oh boy. And then my notes say, I'm scared. This feels like a snuff film. I said, Lumpy's face is so creepy and weird circus music. Those are my notes for that part.
Lost, and he's like makes these expressions like
they keep showing these extreme close-ups of them.
Totally looks like that.
It's so scary.
It's weird.
The eyes. Oh man.
His eyes are super creepy.
Meanwhile, Mala goes to check the little laptop, computer terminal they have there right in the living room. It's pretty cool.
Checking her email.
She goes and checks on traffic control to see where Chewie is. Sure. And it says no starships in the area.
Oh man, where's Chewie? He's late for Life Day.
By the way, I'd like to point out, I did also read that Mark Hamill, in his girlish appearance, was heavily made up because he had already had his accident and was recovering from the plastic surgery.
Okay.
So that's why he had a lot of makeup on.
Okay.
And looked like Ellen.
Okay.
He totally looked like Ellen.
She receives a transmission, and I call this from now on, I just call it FaceTiming. Because So she FaceTimes with Luke and R2 are in a garage fixing something.
Yeah.
And, Luke is like, I don't want to. No, that was Leah. She has a great line at another part.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, basically they keep saying, hey, put Han on the line. I need to talk to him, or put Chewie on the line, and Mala grunts that they're not here yet.
He's
and
not
then it's like, oh,
fucking
really?
Here. Stop calling.
That is, that we don't know.
Yeah.
And then it looks like they're trying to show Luke that what's Chewie. It looks like a toy Chewie in a box.
Or is it a picture of
photo.
Chewie?
I think it's like a photo.
Oh, is it? Okay, I thought it was like a.
It's not his action figure.
It's a collectible Chewbacca.
Okay.
Leave it in the box.
Then Luke says, "Don't worry, Mala. Why don't you give me a little smile?"
What the fuck, Luke? Mala, you'd be so much prettier if you smiled. Fuck you, Luke
Give me a little
Skywalker.
smile, Mala.
What are you saying? That's horrible.
You shouldn't be sad, Mala, because your husband's missing.
Come on.
Silly.
Give me a smile. I want to see that smile.
Well, I wish I hadn't seen the smile because, again, it was like, so close up on her face.
Yeah, she doesn't want to
it
smile,
lingered.
Luke.
It lingered. They just held the camera there, and I was like, oh,
Luke,
what am I watching?
She doesn't want to smile, okay? That's
Lord.
That made me uncomfortable.
It did. It seemed out of place that he would
there
be
a lot
like.
of things that were kind of
It was like, took a weird turn. Like, he was like, why don't you give me a little smile, Mama? Let me see that smile. Like, ew.
Gross, Luke Skywalker.
So then
Go take your makeup somewhere else.
And then She FaceTimes the guy. I don't know what his name is, but he's a trading post worker.
We're going to call him
Carney.
Art Carney. That's Art
Art
Carney.
Carney.
Yeah, call him Art Carney.
He works at the trading post on a
He did his
Wookiee
best
planet.
with what he had.
He did.
Yeah.
He was committed. I'll give him
Yeah,
that.
he was
He was in it. Yeah.
Yeah. And so he's there at a shop. There's like an Imperial guard that's off duty. He tries to sell the guard like a pocket-sized aquarium.
That was just, again, unnecessary 5-minute scene.
Again.
Like, what are we doing?
And very
establishing
very
his character.
Get me out of here.
For as little words as that were in the film for so long, there's
Yeah.
a lot of excess words that don't need to be
There
in
are a lot
there
of
from the
excess words in the
humans.
whole thing.
Yeah, we could have
Yeah.
cut a lot of this out. This
Yeah.
should have been a 45-minute thing,
Yeah.
honestly.
And then he gets the FaceTime from Mala, and he goes, Mala, I know why you're calling, right? Because he knows the guard's there, and he's not gonna like.
He's
give
not
him any,
stupid.
right? He's like, I know you're looking for that furry blanket you ordered. It's on its way. Trust me. I think it's coming straight from that planet. It was made by hand. Solo.
Yeah, I love that.
It's
Wait, I did like that line.
Very sophisticated code.
Yes.
Yeah. So
By hand.
Yeah.
You could say
And then she's like,
solo.
oh, okay, I get what you're saying.
I'm glad he speaks
So
Wookiee.
then- Yeah, then he hangs up, and
Oh,
then
God.
again, more unnecessary words where he's selling the guard groomer, and he has to go through a
Just-
list of all that it does, and then the groomer or the guard says, "I'm taking the." It was a
Fast
lot.
forward.
Okay, back at wait. Oh, then we get to see Vader
Yeah.
for the first time.
And
He's
the
walking on
Star Wars footage.
and the last
yes,
time.
yes. He's looking for the rebels, and he says, "Even if we have to search house by house, that's how we'll do it." And you're like, "Oh no, they're going to search the whole planet." So he's looking for rebels, and then that's it. It cuts away. Back at Chewie's family's house.
Yes.
Mala watches a cooking show. I guess they have a lot of the same things,
Sure. She's
very similar.
She's preparing the Life Day meal, Tara. It's very
Yes.
important. She's going to try this new recipe.
Bantha Surprise
Yeah.
is the holiday meal.
Sure.
And I really
Well,
want to
I'm
make a
thinking of
dish called Bantha
Bantha meat.
Surprise. Can't wait.
Yeah.
So it's made from a bantha loin.
Yeah. It's the choicest cut. That's the best cut.
And I don't know who this person was playing.
Harvey Korman.
Harvey
It was
Korman.
man. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Playing
Comedic
a woman
genius.
alien.
With 4 arms.
Yeah, he's in
Yes,
he's
but
in
it was-
drag.
I did appreciate how they revealed the extra arm.
That
that
was
was
funny.
that was cute.
Yeah. So, and I noted here that there was no music.
Ooh, interesting.
no,
Yeah, it was dry.
Yeah.
Huh.
And then
Yeah,
it
that's
proceeded
the big
to
problem with all
be,
That's
you
why this
have
scene
to-
doesn't work.
You have to stir, whip, whip, stir.
Sure, yeah. And then he
Stir, whip, stir,
there's-
whip, stir,
some-
and almost manically,
Yes, very manically. The hair's falling out.
the hair's falling, and then that's when the third arm pops out.
That's right, for
to
the
help-
mashing.
And then
It's
you got
mashing.
to do the yes,
See what I'm doing
beat.
here?
You got to beat it. That's what it was. And then the fourth arm comes out, and then it's just she's gyrating all over the place.
Sure.
So
She's again, he is
assume
completely committed to this
Mala
part.
was doing her thing.
But then
cooking.
she turns it off. Do you realize? Like she's like, I'm done. Like
Yeah,
Mala
yeah.
Mala is all of us in that moment. Like,
Yeah.
what are we watching?
What took you so long? Then we come back to Han and Chewie again, the TIE fighters chasing them. Lots of more close-ups.
Lots of. You're right. It's very tight. All their coverage
It's
is
very
super
tight.
tight.
Our face takes up the whole screen.
Why? Why is it so tight?
Oh, then thank God we're back at Chewie's.
Make sure
We
you're
get a
glad we're back.
FaceTime message again from the Empire announcing martial law.
That's right.
No ships in or out of the system. They're
There's a
searching everything. for
blockade.
these rebels.
Yeah.
Then we get a knock at the door.
Oh boy.
Ooh, who is
Oh
it?
gosh. Hope
It's
it's not.
it's the shop guy again.
Art Carney.
Art Carney.
Yes.
Good old Art.
And he's like, I made it through the Imperial block, so I'm sure Chewie and Han won't have any
Yeah.
problem getting in.
No problem.
He says, hey, I have a present for you.
Oh.
It's a proton pack.
Yeah. Sure.
And then it takes another weird
Oh
turn
my. This is
where he gives out a few presents. No, I
Okay,
don't think I'm quite to that weird turn yet.
Okay.
He gives the presents out for Light Day, and Mala kind of looks like, oh, I don't have anything for you. And he's like, oh, well, what can he give me in exchange for these presents? And then she gives him like a kiss on the cheek.
Yes.
He's like, that's
That
more
felt
like
creepy.
it.
Mala,
That was a little creepy for me.
all these men telling Mala what to do.
That was
Again,
not right.
it was the 70s, so this was acceptable behavior. It's just gross.
Yeah.
Does not hold
creepy.
up. No.
Unnecessary.
Especially when it's a Wookiee.
Especially when it's Life Day and it's supposed to be like a giving day.
Yeah.
And then you're
Come
like,
on, man.
I'm
In front of
gonna
my
make a
kid?
fist for
Like,
that.
are you fucking kidding me?
What do I get for that?
Not in front of Lumpy.
Yeah. Lumpy's learning all the wrong things.
That's right.
Well, we see Lumpy up in his room fiddling with something.
Yeah, he's having a good time.
He's up there. Meanwhile, while Lumpy's upstairs, Grandpa Itchy gets to try out the proton pack that Art Carney puts on him.
Yeah.
Which is kind of starts like a trippy kaleidoscope.
Yeah,
so it's like a thing. It's like a virtual reality.
Yeah, like it's an old-fashioned hair dryer over his head.
Right.
The kind that they put on over
it's like
a perm or something in the hair salon.
It's VR, right? But even the way he sets it up, even when Art Carney's like, you're going to have a great life day.
You're going to like this.
Dude, what are you doing?
Let me read a little trivia here.
Okay.
Number one, Bruce Valanche was one of the writers and has admitted he was using cocaine heavily while writing this.
Okay.
Number two,
that checks out.
According to producer Mitzi Welsh, the sequence we are about to speak of with Diane Carroll was, quote, intended to be softcore porn that would pass the censors.
Okay.
Well, I got that vibe.
Yeah, I did too. They succeeded.
The kaleidoscope starts out innocent enough.
Yeah.
And then you start adding people in there and they're just kind of like floating around in this kaleidoscope world. And then you keep getting cuts of Grandpa's face with the thing on his
very
face.
happy.
Having a good time.
And then
Diane Carroll.
Diane Carroll shows up.
Yeah, creepy churn.
She's talking in a very sultry voice. Yep. And she's basically the equivalent of, hey, big boy. And she literally says, I find you very adorable.
Mm-hmm.
Let's have a good time.
That's right, who plays it.
This is your fantasy. Experience me. Enjoy me. Those are direct quotes.
This is supposed to be a kid's show.
Yes.
And she's like laying there, like... And it goes on and on.
This is when I fast forwarded.
A musical number.
Like 5 minutes.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like
it was
45
long.
minutes. I was like, what? Meanwhile, so it's cutting between Diane Carroll being like sexy.
Yeah.
And
who is
Itchy,
very sexy, very talented woman.
Itchy's gross face reacting to it.
Inappropriate.
Giant lower lip.
It was
disturbing.
I wish I could have taken a picture of the face.
I mean, we definitely
especially like from even before this, just to the end.
Yeah.
So then it cuts to Leia and C-3PO.
Right. Leia's doing some accounting.
Yeah.
Part of the job. The unglamorous part.
They FaceTime with Chewie's family.
Yeah.
Leia finds out Han and Chewie haven't arrived yet. Well, first she says she's talking to Mala. Pleasantries exchanged. And then Leia's like, you know what? I don't want to tie up the lines any longer. Is
there a human?
I guess put a Han or something.
Come on, man. That's harsh.
Yeah.
Like, blah, 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 blah.
How are you? Great. Okay. Can we go ahead and put the big boys on now?
Anyway.
I mean, poor Mala. She's just subjected to all this
I feel for Mala.
disrespect.
I do too. This is, I don't
so
feel
then
good about
Mala's like, yeah, I would if I could, bitch, but he's not here. And then, oh, really? Oh, no. What could have happened? Ugh.
But also, like, C-3PO is, like, trying to help and interject and stuff, and Leia is just, like, over it.
Right. Let 3PO do his job. He's an interpreter. He knows all the languages. Just let him do it.
She's just over him
another
completely.
Great moment, too, with that. Oh, I can't wait to talk about it. Then Leia demands to talk to Art Carney and say, you're going to protect them, right? Makes him promise.
Is there a man around I can talk to?
Yeah, is there a man?
In respect, I feel like it's more a human. She wanted to talk to a human.
Okay.
Whatever.
Sure.
Then we cut back to Han and Chewie. They're going to Chewie's planet, but they have to fly farther out.
Oh, damn it.
They're going to avoid the blockade.
So it's a long walk. Get over it, Chewie.
But it's Life Day.
Yeah.
He's trying. Han's trying.
Meanwhile, back at the house, Lumpy hears a ship overhead, and it's a good cut right from Han and Chewie flying over, so you almost mistakenly think, oh, it's them. They're like not that far away. And they get a knock on the door, and is it Daddy? No, it's a stormtrooper.
God damn it.
Yeah.
Let me say for the record, now in 1978, when you're a 10-year-old watching this show, and stormtroopers come to the door of the Wookiees, that's a scary moment.
Sure.
Because at that time, we were still legit scared of the stormtroopers. So that was scary.
I bet.
I was legit scared.
Pretty sure I was scared back then.
Wendy, do you remember watching this?
Vaguely, but not enough to know if I thought it was good or stupid. Got it. I think I know I watched it. I have no doubt I watched it.
Got it.
I just don't remember the experience that much.
Cool.
Then with the stormtroopers, there's like an Imperial commander guy that's obviously the boss guy. Yeah. And he says, inspect the house. And Wendy, I think he has a transatlantic accent of some kind.
I feel like he did. Yeah.
Good call.
I admire that.
And then the Art Carney just starts rambling again. Way too many words.
But he's to distract him.
Horrible. He's like, I had my identification right here, and he's just rambling incoherently.
Hey, listen, Tara, that is legendary Art Carney you're talking about. Okay, are you questioning his acting choices in this?
Like, you can critique the writers, don't critique art.
Okay. I'm saying
untouchable.
It's the script.
Okay.
All right. Fair enough.
And then a trooper bends down to Lumpy, and he's like, "Oh, hi, fella," and Lumpy's like, scratches up. He's like, "Yes, they have no respect for authority." So the troopers just wait at the house while they just wait there, just chilling.
Right.
Yeah,
and
then really target. Well, they ask where the fourth Wookiee is. Like, there's supposed to be another Wookiee.
Yeah.
Two males,
and Art's like, "Oh, you wouldn't believe they just had a big fight and he stormed out of here." So he's trying to help them, but you're like, "Well, we're gonna wait." We don't believe that.
So the troopers are waiting. They gotta entertain themselves. One sits down at some kind of contraption, music box of sorts, where we get a miniature Jefferson Starship performance.
Yeah, and
also full length.
Yes, and
again, fast forwarded.
You know what makes it Star Wars is that he's singing with a lightsaber microphone, so it makes total sense.
That counts.
Yeah.
So that happened.
That definitely happened for at least 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I like this very moment, though, because, they have that telecommunications device in some shelves, but there's like a fake wall, and then behind the fake wall is more fake shelves, and then so they had to move the other fake shelves to get to the thing. So when the stormtrooper's like, "Oh, there's something behind this," and he moves the little wall, he sees shelves. He's like, "Oh, it's just more shelves." So I was like, I gave him credit for that ingenuity.
It's clever.
Yeah, good job, Wookiees.
Then they're all still there looking, and again, the script just goes off the rails a little bit. Search the upper level. Go up there and search the upper level now.
I like lots of snapping too.
Search you there. Go up. I said go up to the upper level.
He kept snapping. Lots of snapping.
Goes on a lot.
It does.
I
just
feel
keep
like
saying the same thing.
It was very rude. They basically kind of looked around the bottom, but he goes up to Lumpy's room and just trashes it, and he rips the head off his bantha stuffed animal.
For no
it was
reason.
Completely unnecessary.
Come on. It's Life Day.
And they yell for Lumpy. They basically say, "You better shut that boy up."
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So then Lumpy, here's one of the good things that came out of this in a way.
Oh,
so
very good.
Lumpy goes to watch a cartoon.
He goes to his iPad.
He goes to his iPad.
Right.
And the cartoon is famous for the fact that it introduced Boba Fett to the world for the first time ever.
That's right.
And, it was kind of fun. Like, that's the first time, because he didn't show up till Empire, but he was in this cartoon. And so, being a fake friend, you could tell he wasn't really a friend because he was hitting that dinosaur thing. He was riding
really mean to that thing. Not cool.
That was so mean.
Unnecessary.
First of all, can we note how creepy the animation was?
It was pretty creepy.
It was interesting.
And I was confused. I was like, is this happening? Because it kept having Lumpy reacting to it. And I was like, is this supposed to be like now they're cartoons?
Is he watching actual things?
Right.
Or is this
is it actually happen?
Yeah.
And he's like, it's a sneaky way because they're cartoons. They appear. I don't know.
It's never explained.
No. So they have to crash land on this like sludge planet or a moon.
Sure.
Where they kind of like, it's kind of rubbery. And then a dinosaur dragon shows up, tries to get him. And then they're saved by Boba Fett. And he's on another giant friendly dinosaur.
Mm-hmm.
And then he shocks him, and he's such a dick to him, to the dinosaur.
Yeah.
The dinosaur's
That's when
so
he was
cute.
bad.
And then he's even like, why would you ever care about what these beasts think? And, oh, yeah, you don't like animals, bro? No.
No, not good.
No. And so they eventually make it there and find out that this talisman they have makes people sleepy. I had no idea.
It's fine.
You gotta hang him upside down so the blood.
Why this was
brain.
necessary?
Fast forward.
It's a fun cartoon.
Chewie,
It is cool. It is
I
cool.
watched the whole cartoon though.
I did too.
Hanging upside down. Now Luke's hanging upside down.
It's a whole
Chewie
thing.
goes with Boba. And then they go to a city on the Sludge Planet. Oh, I watched the whole thing because I'd never seen it. I didn't know where this was going. Then we see Boba is working with Darth Vader.
Right.
Lumpy screams. And then I was like, wait, is this real?
Right.
Like, is he really? But I just went with it. That really doesn't mean anything.
It was confusing.
Then the droids intercept the transmission and learn Boba is bad. This is all, again, happening in the cartoon. And then I said, what the fuck? Han's animation is so
He looks
scary.
hideous. Luke looked okay. Han looked weird.
They all looked hideous. Han looked like Slender Man. That's what I would compare.
Fair, yeah.
Han looked a little creepy.
I get that.
It was really weird. Like I did not get it. They all looked weird. Then
interesting
they're
choice.
saved.
But I like how the R2 and 3PO spoil it and say, hey, he's really bad guy. We saw him talking to Darth. And even though they just woke up from being their sleepy thing. There's a couple of droids. There's Chewie. But then Boba's like, all right, I'm out. He just like goes away.
Bye.
You know who I am now. Bye.
Yeah, he takes off. He uses his jetpack to
he's
take off.
out.
Yeah.
Bye.
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 Then we go back to reality, I guess. Yeah, this is where the troops just make a mess of Lumpy's room. They rip
Trashing the
head
place,
off,
man.
And then I guess after that they leave or they go downstairs. I can't remember. They're like waiting downstairs, and then Lumpy hooks up his anamorphium transmitter.
Oh, right.
But before he can do that, he has to watch an instruction tape.
Yes.
That also felt like a snuff film to me. It kind of warned you at the beginning. They're like, our anamorphians can sometimes like pause or like basically, they're kind of short circuit. I think he's like a robot doing this instructional video.
Yeah, who knows?
This is the point I was like,
I
wish I was drunk when I was watching this. Maybe it would make more sense. See, she's doing the fast forward motion. I didn't have that pleasure because again, I didn't know.
You're a trooper, Tara.
What was happening?
You're a trooper.
And at this point, I was like, I just want to see what happens next.
What happens next?
Same.
Then it proceeds to be a really creepy slow-mo robot man where his voice keeps going down and it's so scary. Yeah. And he's like jerky. Oh, it's really weird. And then he does a really creepy tongue flicking thing. It is disturbing.
But listen, Lumpy seems excited, so Lumpy's doing what he wants.
Lumpy's excited. Yeah. It was interesting.
But at least it's useful. He gets his machine working.
Right.
And so he uses it to send a message to all the Empire, the troopers and the Imperial guy. Return to the base. Return to the base.
Well,
so they get this radio signal.
You're getting ahead of yourself.
Am I?
Yeah, you're skipping the best part
you're skipping
this
a great
entire
part.
movie.
Oh no! What did I skip? Oh, my favorite part.
The troopers are called to the TV screen.
Yeah, they have to go to the smart TV.
From their leader that randomly for some reason
I know who this dude
was never explained.
No.
They have a mandatory show that they have to watch called Life on Tatooine. They have to watch it right then.
Yep, mandatory.
And it's mandatory so that they can get a glimpse into what you don't want. And I don't even know what it was trying to say. And then the video plays, and then the troopers are just like hanging out there with their guns, like watching this mandatory
This
work
happens
video.
all the time.
Mandatory.
Yeah.
Oh my
You have
God.
to do this
And
alone.
then and they make as it's and it's clearly Tatooine, and then there's like a narrator voice that's like, this is is intended to be a real-life look at life on Tatooine so that you do not make the same mistakes. This is unedited and unrehearsed.
Like, oh, shit. It's like Cops.
Jeez. Yeah, and then it goes into this like mini movie.
Yeah, it's the cantina. We're in.
Right.
I feel like we're in the Mos Eisley cantina.
Yes, if I may.
Please
This
take it.
is-
Please take
Now
it.
I know I watched this when I was young because ever since then I've been saying my end game in life is to be B. Arthur in the cantina. That's my retirement career goal.
I love it.
Because I loved B. Arthur. I couldn't even remember that much about the song. I remember she sang a song that to me felt kind of like winsome at the end. Like that's all I really remembered. But yeah, but first she's the bartender, and B. Arthur's awesome. You gotta love B. Arthur.
She's committed, man.
She's cool.
She's in it.
She owns that bartender role.
Yes.
And is it Harvey Korman again? that
Of
comes
course.
in?
Yes.
And he plays a guy who has become smitten with her because last time he was there,
Smitten is not the word. He is this obsessed stalker.
Yeah,
stalker.
it's
He is obsessed stalker.
borderline assaulting her at some.
And
at
I
one
love
point.
the
Yeah.
dialogue. He's like, she's just like, yeah, what do you want to drink? She's having none of it.
Yeah.
No.
But he pours the drink down the hole in his head. He has like a volcano head that you don't realize
like-
until he gets his drink and just pours it down his head.
Yeah,
which is
that was pretty good.
more disturbing later when she herself takes
Pours.
a pitcher and just pours it straight down
Yeah.
his head.
Okay, I
Um,
guess like.
So then we get a whole scene of him. He's got like a flower for her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he said, you know what? Since I was here last time and you said what you said, it changed my whole world. All I did is go home and I thought and I thought and I thought about your words.
Yeah. And it was
6
like,
words.
thanks for coming. See you next time.
Yeah.
Or I'll be
No,
waiting or something
It
like
was,
that.
it,
I'll
yeah.
be, it said, come back soon. I'll be waiting.
Yeah.
That was her word. That
He
was what
took
she
it a little
said.
too personally.
He took it really personally. And what he says, oh wait, was this after the, oh no, not yet. So the stalker won't leave her alone.
Mm-mm.
And then he realizes, because she says it to another customer that's
Right.
leaving, and he's like, oh
He gets
wait,
it.
she says that to everybody, right? And then he proceeded to tell her when she does essentially say, well, I said that, I say that a lot. And he says, well, what you said doesn't matter. It's what you meant, what I needed to hear.
Ooh.
I went home and thought about it. And then he hugs her from behind.
Not
Oh,
cool.
Comes
that's
out of
right.
nowhere and hugs her
Nope, not cool.
from behind.
Mm-mm.
It's a bear hug. That's what it is.
Non-consensual hugging.
No. Oh my god! And then then there's another.
Oh, yeah.
FaceTime from the Empire saying there's a
There's a
curfew. in
curfew.
effect.
You gotta close.
Closing up.
And her jackhole customers won't leave. She's trying
What
to get them
asshole?
to leave. She's like, go home, go home. The band's like, we don't want to go home. All right, one more song. She's telling everybody to go. No one will leave. New customers walk in. They're not leaving. So she starts singing a song.
The only
as,
option.
as you do.
And I will say it's a song kind of meshed with the Cantina song.
Yes,
that
a
the band
slower
played.
version.
I gotta
of the
say,
Cantina
I
song.
like the song.
was
I like the
great.
number.
It's
It was
so
only good
good.
because the
It
way
was-
she did it.
It's
To me,
all
this
about
is
B.
the highlight. This is the highlight, and she's
I-
walking around, and she's kind of winning them over, like one last drink kind of thing. It's
It's-
not a bad song,
It's actually
No,
good. It's really
It's
good.
actually, and it's smart
like
what
the
she's
song.
doing.
right?
And I wonder when I saw B. Arthur nuzzling in a booth as she's singing with a giant mouse.
Yes.
I was just thinking, I wonder if B. Arthur ever thought that she'd be here.
Well,
here in
I
her
did
life.
read that she said she did it because her youngest son was a huge fan.
Aw.
Okay,
That's why
Yeah,
she
that
was
makes sense.
into
Amazing.
it. But I love
I
it.
bought it. I bought it.
I did
Like,
too.
if her
Put
kid-
out the B. Arthur Cantina action figure. I'm buying it.
Yeah.
I've always been fascinated with B. Arthur in the Star Wars Christmas special.
Yeah.
I
So
love it.
essentially,
Love it.
she's great because she's simultaneously dancing and singing
Yeah.
with her customers while also kicking them out
Getting them out
without
the
them
door.
noticing.
Yeah.
And the song is really called, I think it's called Good Night, but not Goodbye.
Right.
It's great.
Great.
Get the
Love
hell
it.
out of here.
Love it.
See you another time.
Well, I
And
will
then
say- Let me just say there was an original director on this special who directed that. He was responsible for the cartoon, and I feel like maybe one other thing, but he left, and another director. Oh, I think he maybe did the Jefferson Starship thing, but he left, and
yeah, that makes
yeah,
sense.
he quit after a few days. So he did he did two of the things that were cool: the cartoon, which at least introduced Boba Fett,
in the canteen.
and then this
scene.
number he did, but
Mhm.
then none of the rest of it.
Well,
That
B.
makes
Arthur ultimately leads everyone outside with a conga line. So she's singing. She's like, hey, everybody, follow me. Let's dance together. And then they dance right out the door. Yeah, there's like a sweet moment at the end.
Yeah.
And she's singing and like
It is
everyone's leaving.
The
and
best
she's,
part
like,
of this whole
kissing
thing,
her.
honestly.
It really
Yeah, it
That's-
is.
Yeah, it stuck with me.
So well done. And it's a little melancholy, and it's kind of
Yeah.
like, this is a hard, this woman has a hard life, She's
right.
constantly being interrupted. Business is hard because of the empire, and her, she's got to deal with these fucking customers all the time.
And, yeah, you know what makes it harder?
Mm.
Because when everybody leaves,
Oh, God.
she turns around.
Damn it.
And the freaking stalker guy is still there behind the bar, and he holds
now
up
they're
a flower
alone.
like he's
It's
charming.
not a happy ending. No, I don't like that at all.
No.
It's a little.
I'm
That
sure she
was-
tossed him out.
I hope so. Maybe she
She
has like
um,
herself.
a blaster in her robe or something.
I hope so.
Yeah.
That
Nope.
The guy has a hole in the top of his head.
made it like they could have made him like sweet and endearing. Like they
No.
could have made it like they could have made it a nice story.
Here's
Right.
the thing.
How
Back
he-
in 78, maybe he was.
Ooh. I mean, maybe based on some of this other
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe.
it was like, oh, a man likes you should just like him back.
Exactly.
He's just not giving up till you
Look
do.
how sweet he is. He's not giving up, so you have to give in.
Exactly. Those are the
Yeah,
rules.
that goes well.
Sorry, those are the rules.
Ugh. And then, so we cut back the mini movies over, the
Right.
mandatory mini movie that the troopers have to watch in the middle of a mission. And then it just cuts to the troopers and like, oh, and that's it. They don't ever explain what lesson they were supposed to gain from that.
Right.
They just move on. And I'm like, why was this mandatory? This could have just been like a random movie Lumpy watches or something.
Are you saying that there's some plot holes in this, Tara?
Oh, Lord. I guess. I mean, sorry to burst your bubble. I know.
I don't know.
I really love
I
this. But
disagree.
so then, you know what? They've ransacked the house. They decide to leave. Let's get back to base.
Right.
But you stay here. You wait for the other Wookiee we haven't seen yet. And so the one trooper stays, and he's just kind of poking around outside.
But hold on, Lumpy's the hero here, and Wendy, Wendy, you mentioned it earlier. He uses his
he fakes the
toy
radio signal
that Art Carney gave him, and that creepy Harvey Korman helped him to set up. He uses it to transmit a fake message that sends most of these bad guys away.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, the trooper.
It's an important plot point I needed to say.
Thank you. That makes a lot more sense now.
Yeah, there you go.
So the trooper's wandering, kind of just poking around out front, and then all of a sudden, Han is there and pushes the guy off, and he falls.
He
200
does.
feet.
Well,
to his death.
Chewie shows up first, right?
Oh, is that what happened?
Yeah,
It was all kind of a blur.
and, like protects his son, and then Han picks up.
Right, and then
Han runs in, picks up Lumpy and says, "Here's your daddy," and puts Lumpy into Chewie's arm.
And then he's like, "You got bigger," or something like that. Yeah.
Also,
picks him up like a baby, and it's so weird.
Let's mention that the stormtrooper, as he falls, gives out the Wilhelm scream, which is like a signature Star Wars sound effect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. Okay.
So they say they were, all. You have a reunion with Chewie's family,
Right.
and Han says, "Oh, it's nice to see you."
Han is surrounded by Wookiees. Harrison Ford had to act in a scene with all Wookiees. I'm sure he loved every minute of this.
Well, he had to.
He made it work.
He made it work.
He had to really, really get emotional because before he left, he said, "I have to go, but you're like a family to me."
Yeah.
Followed by back and forth, long, lingering looks
Guys,
between Han and Mala.
there was gazing.
There was gazing. Yeah, straight up. It was
What?
It was
the
like
f-
uncomfortable.
It was gazing for sure.
It was real.
and again, very tight, like super
very
close
up.
What are they trying to tell us here? Is Han and Mala having a secret
Such
affair
Right.
behind Chewie's
No,
back?
come on now.
Wendy.
Come on
Your
now.
daddy.
Wendy, those gazes though.
Those you can't deny the gazes.
Heartfelt
The
emotion.
gazes were strong in this film.
The gazes were strong in this one, I swear.
Yes. So Han says goodbye after his gaze
Yes.
and unsaid words that he leaves with that he says with his eyes.
Oh God.
And then followed by Chewie hugs his family. It would be gets to reunite with his wife. They're all so glad he's back, and it would be a really sweet moment if we weren't supposed to feel something because we were given more long, lingering looks to make us really feel the moment.
Are you feeling this?
Way more than I needed to feel it.
There's lots of gazing.
So there's long looks between the family members. Then Chewie and Mala have an awkward, tender moment.
Very
That's not just long looks. They like go up to each other and they're like
kind of smelling each other.
They're like smelling each other in the face, and you're like, are they gonna make out? And then
very uncomfortable.
And it keeps going. And then they just like they hug each other.
Turns out there was no editor on this. They just kind of whatever they shot is what they used.
There were no cuts.
That may be true.
So then Art Carney comes back.
Yes, with his unbuttoned shirt.
That was a little that was very unbuttoned for an old dude.
It
what
was.
he doing?
It was.
Like, were they trying to make him sexy? What was that?
I don't know.
Yeah,
it was a weird guys. It
unbuttoned for an old guy.
It was the 70s. It was a weird time.
It was.
And they get another transmission from the Empire. The Empire has a lot, like a good media department.
Yeah,
they're really out there. They're like producing mandatory films for them to watch. They have a lot of good special bulletins.
AV department needs something to do. So.
Yeah. And that spokes guy, that he's like the spokesperson, the on-camera guy, making all the announcements. And he's trying to find that trooper that was pushed off the edge.
That's right. You're right.
And then thank God that Art Carney's there.
He handles it.
He fools him. He says, you know what? That trooper robbed us and then ran off into the hills.
Unbelievable.
They bought it.
Man, Art Carney, he's good.
The Empire guy's like, okay, you're right. You know what? I'll send out a search party.
We'll get him.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Bye.
No one ever comes back to check.
Hopefully.
Then so then they're sitting around again.
Yes.
They are lighting candles.
Yep.
And it's sweet, and I'm thinking, oh, here we go. Lighting the candles. Yay, Life Day. Yay, fade to black.
Perfect.
We're done.
This is ending number 1.
But no,
one of many.
The lighting of the candles only means they're now going to be in red robes,
right? Creepy,
and be floating through space.
They walked into an orb or something.
And then they walk
very
into the orb, and I think, oh, okay, that's it. That's the end.
Ending number 2. Okay.
No.
Oh, what?
No.
What?
Cut to Chewie's family in a cave now. I guess that's where they went. Everybody's in their creepy robes.
What is happening?
With everyone. And then the droids are there.
For some reason.
R2 and CP3.
And let's just take a moment. There are like 100 Wookiees. Yeah. That's a lot of costumes. And
that is.
They were
high quality.
They are. And they're all making the Wookiee noise. Like, it's like kind of like, guys, it's too loud.
It's pandemonium.
It's cacophony of Wookiees.
And then C-3PO starts to say something really sweet.
Yes.
And he says, this day is so special and so meaningful, and we see how meaningful it is for you so much that we wish we were also alive so we could feel.
If only we had emotions.
Basically doing a Pinocchio and how much they wish they were real so they could feel the emotions. And freaking Han, Leia, and Luke just show up and cut him off mid-sentence. They're like, hey!
What are they disrespected?
And then Leia makes a big speech about sharing.
What are they doing there? They weren't supposed
to fight against evil. They just show up in this. How did they get there? Because the Wookiees had to light candles and walk through outer space into an orb. But now they're just there.
Like, guys, this is a very sacred moment. Get out of here. This is Wookiee only.
Right. This is not about you.
Get out
right now.
It's always about them. Exactly. Chewie never gets his own moment. Like,
so they crash. First,
they totally crash.
C-3PO's really nice speech, and obviously he's trying to get out some feelings he's had for quite some time.
Yeah.
And then he's cut off. So then, Leia makes her big speech, and then why not have her sing?
I mean,
So she
obviously.
wants to sing a song.
It felt to me like when Carrie had her big speech, she was really trying not to laugh. That's the vibe
Speech
I was
went on
getting.
a little bit too. There was a lot of different ways she said, "I'm glad we're sharing in the fight against evil." That's the one I picked, but there was she said it in a few different.
It was again like a 5-minute long speech.
By the way, Sarah, to answer earlier your question, that is Carrie Fisher singing. It's,
yeah.
Oh, okay.
For sure, yeah.
She wasn't bad.
Fisher demanded that she be allowed to sing, but didn't like it long.
That's hilarious that she demanded.
As long as everybody knows, I don't like it.
But no, she legit had a great voice.
Yeah, she could sing.
She came from two really good singers.
And so the song, what I got out of it was a day, like the Life Day song, a day that brings the promise. One day we'll be free. Singing and singing.
It's Life Day.
Yes. Meanwhile, we get some. Then it fades, and I'm like, "Oh, okay, here we go." And then it's just,
ending number 3.
Extreme close up of Chewie's face
for no fucking reason.
That's right.
No fucking reason.
Why? Here's the reason.
And then
why, Wendy?
Then it goes into a clip.
It's a trailer
montage from the movie.
Trailer.
Again, back in the day, in 1978. I mean, Star Wars had been out for like a year, and then but it was Christmas '78. You didn't have your DVD recording. You didn't even have VHS recordings of this film. You couldn't see it anywhere.
Right.
So this was their way of like, I'm pretty darn sure when this part came on and I was 10, I was like, clips from the movie. And I got all excited because you didn't see the movie anywhere.
Right.
You couldn't just watch it all the time. So when they brought back clips, and of course he was reflecting on his life.
Is that what that was?
Wars.
Okay.
Yeah. And, and it was probably very exciting to see clips from the movie because you just couldn't call them up whenever you wanted.
Fair enough.
There you go.
Okay.
Noted.
Thank you.
So then, we see Chewie's face again. It's like, okay.
Ending number 4.
Reminisce.
Ending number 4.
Now we're done. Nope. We fade back up. They're back in the living room at their house. They're sitting at the table,
so
their family.
Yeah. It's life. It's Life Day.
We get to see it all. We get to see them hold hands.
It's very
we get
sweet.
to see them almost do
somewhat of a prayer.
Yeah, the praying. Yeah.
And they really, again, a lot of looking and gazing, very methodically done. Really feel like you're there in the awkwardness of your family holding
100%.
hands, and then mercifully,
okay, this has got to be it.
They zoom out from the outside of the house, and then the credits come.
6 endings, guys. 6 endings.
Mm.
Fun fact.
I'm glad you recommended it, Kat.
I am. I am. It's so much fun. This was. I mean, just talking about it was worth it to me. Bob Mackey did the costumes. I watched the credits. You guys watch the credits?
I did, but I didn't pay attention.
You know what? I was done at that point.
Illustrations by Ralph McQuarrie, who also did the original concept.
Yes. I did recognize. Yeah.
Stan Winston did all the Wookiee family costumes, whatever. It was taped in Burbank at Burbank Studios. Guys, George Lucas's name is nowhere on this. So my guess,
nothing to do with it.
Well, that's what I'm sure Fox is like. Hey, CBS wants to air a special, George. So can you write something? And he's like, no. I'm like, cool. We're gonna do it then. We'll hire some people. We're gonna really nail it. We know what people want to see. Let's do this.
You know what? Then let's
guess.
give George some credit.
Absolutely.
Since, he gets a lot of flack for not being the best storyteller, but he was smart enough to know that he shouldn't touch this.
I think he's a good storyteller. He's just not always a good executor of that story.
That's true. That's
fair.
more what I meant.
I agree.
I
agree.
So
good for him for not wanting anything to do with this, except for the B. Arthur cantina scene.
That's classic.
Yeah,
it is. It's fantastic.
That's good. That's a standalone. You can just play that as like a little Halloween or Christmas like cozy
music video
thing that you watch. So I give this film, if you call it, 0.5. 0.5. That's half of one.
Ooh, okay.
Rainbow. Just for the effort of having the whole cast there.
Sure.
And some of the costumes were elaborate.
There were some good costumes.
And for B. Arthur. B. Arthur is really contributing about 0.3 of that 0.5 star.
To me, it's all about B. She carries this whole thing. She prevents it from being. The 0.5 is a little harsh, Tara. I think it's a little harsh. I'm gonna give it a solid 2.
Okay.
Because of B. Arthur and because of I enjoyed the awkward gazing. That was fun for me. And to know that Harrison Ford probably hated every single minute of this, that makes me happy.
I'm going to give it a 2 also.
Okay.
But because I love Harrison Ford. Because I'm glad we got to see more Han Solo. Because I love Han Solo. And we got bonus Han Solo moments in this.
And the Boba
he was
Fett
there.
thing's
You
cool
got,
too.
and of course, I lived it. I was there when it was on. I'm sure it was very exciting to have these characters doing things, even if it was cheesy. At a 10, I probably was fine with it. And like you said, B. Arthur. And
it's all about
and
B.
the introduction of Boba Fett. So for all those things,
very cool.
I go with a 2.
It's fun.
I'll give it a bonus star for its festiveness.
Okay.
It's something to watch at holiday time.
Are you going to watch
it? It's better as only if it becomes a drinking game.
Oh,
it definitely could be.
Every gaze, take a shot.
Love that. Every bit of misogyny, take a shot.
Yes.
We'll get drunk.
Every cut that was just a little too long.
Too long. Lingering.
Yeah, lingered.
It's classic. It's classic. Yeah. It's great.
I bet there's one out there. We should look that up.
I'm sure there is.
Whoa. All right.
Okay. Well, I don't know that you'd want to watch this movie on Christmas Day. But we have some ideas for other movies that you can. So this is we're going to Cozy Town, guys. Get on your robes. Do you have your robes?
Ooh, I'm going to put my hood up.
I got my Wookiee lifesaver robe.
Let me go ahead. I'm going to start a fire here. Get the fire going.
I finished my cocoa, but I still have marshmallow.
Nice and cozy.
Oh, that's nice.
You like that? Nice and warm?
I always want that background on this from now on.
So, guys, you can hear the fire's crackling.
Mm-hmm.
Cocoa is steaming. Let's get cozy with some of our favorite cozy movies. And now by this time, if it's Christmas Day, you're watching, you're looking for something to do, you've probably watched enough holiday movies for the season. And if you're looking for like a bit of a palate cleanser, if you're over Christmas and the holiday season, maybe you can watch something else. Still kind of cozy, but maybe not Christmas themed. And so each of us picked a couple movies that we consider cozy movies. Like for me, cozy is like, obviously I know it's going to happen. It's going to be a happy ending. It's comforting for some reason, whatever reason that is to you. So it's very sort of open to interpretation. So let's jump in. Who wants to?
You.
Okay.
You go first. I'm really curious because I think I may have missed the mark on some of these.
No, and no, I don't think so. Wendy, whatever you think is cozy, you know what I mean? I think between the three of us, someone out there will find something that they can connect to. So for me, number 1 is 9 to 5, 1980, Jane Fonda, Lily Tomlin, and Dolly Parton. This movie is actually, I remember seeing it when I was a kid for the first time, and like I probably had seen it a bunch of times as a kid. It's actually not a kid's movie. There's a lot of adult things happen.
They're smoking pot. And all
they're smoking pot. They steal a body.
Yeah.
They tie up they tie up their boss in S&M gear.
Don't they give him rat poison?
Yeah,
they
accidentally,
think,
but it's a theme.
Try.
They think they do.
Yeah,
they don't. But there's a lot of like they fantasize about how they would kill him. It's a very adult movie, but it's super funny. It's Dolly Parton's like first real role in a movie. She
Fantastic.
fucking killed it. And so Jane Fonda produced this. This was her movie, and she wanted Lily Tomlin and she wanted Dolly, and it's just it's a masterpiece. I love it so much. I'd love to do a deep dive into it one day.
I'd like to rewatch it.
That would be fun.
So
yeah,
much fun. It's such a great movie. It's a great ride. All right, who's next?
Well, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm just gonna lump these two together. The Holiday with Cameron Diaz and Kate Winslet, and Love Actually.
Nice
is a big one.
They feel like they kind of go together.
That it's. I just love everything about Love Actually.
Awesome.
Yeah, Wendy.
Well, of the ones on my list that definitely sort of have that fall comforty feel, When Harry Met Sally.
Nice.
It is in my top films in the history of ever. I'll never forget the first time I saw it.
It's a perfect movie.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's just so much classic stuff.
It's
in
like
there,
the ultimate rom-com, right? Like I feel like that sort of set the bar.
I'm not a big rom-com person, but yeah, this is on my top list. It is the ultimate to me of rom-com. It did everything right.
Great
and
choice.
It was perfect.
Excellent
and
choice.
I love it. Yeah. And it's in the fall. I mean, it covers a lot of time, but it's just it introduced the world to Harry Connick Jr.
Yeah, great soundtrack.
Music. Yeah. Yeah,
Great
love
choice. My next pick is going to be Galaxy Quest.
Oh yeah. That is a good one.
It's so much fun.
Forget about that film.
It's, if you haven't seen it and you're a nerd or part of a fandom, what are you doing with your life? Go and watch this movie. It's basically this group of actors who were on a cult TV show like 10 years prior are going to conventions and, just trying to get paid. And they get wrapped up in a real life space adventure. And it's Rainn Wilson before we knew who he was. He's one of the aliens. Tony Shalhoub, Sam Rockwell, Sigourney Weaver, Alan Rickman, Tim Allen, like incredible cast.
Yes.
So much fun. I've seen it.
Enrico, however you say his last name, Cole, whatever.
Oh yeah.
Who was on POI and who was like Veronica Mars, wasn't he? Veronica
Mars's dad. Yeah.
Yeah. Also Missy Pyle, who I really like. Justin Long.
Justin Long, that's right. Great cast.
Cast is ridiculous.
And it's just so funny. I've seen it a million times, but I laugh at the jokes every time. They just hit. They never get old. So great movie, fun.
Fantastic.
You can it's very much like if you're, again, it's a fandom movie, right? It's like, no brainer.
Sure. Hits home.
It does. It gets you right there.
Again, I'm going to lump all the Harry Potter films in together because I always feel like that's a good, cozy one.
Totally.
It kind of covers all the different seasons, and especially Halloween and Christmas are always in there. And they have a lot of delicious English desserts in there, and English cottages and cute English towns and things like that.
Super
Lots of cozy English stuff. Which is how I imagine AK lives her life every day. In Cotswolds.
Every day, AK.
Yeah. And then after that, Pitch Perfect is another one that I find very cozy and therapeutic to me.
Love it.
To watch.
Nice.
Yeah.
Next up for me, Rudy. Very fall, northeast fall football, cold weather. Yep. I love this movie so much.
Very uplifting.
Yeah. Oh, music, just everything about it. It's one that I could watch a billion times, and it gets me every time.
Nice.
And it's definitely a comfort movie.
Well, my last choice is a classic musical. It probably is the most well-known musical to come out of of Hollywood in the 50s, Singing in the Rain.
Really?
Gene Kelly, Debbie Reynolds, Donald O'Connor. I've seen it a million times. It just makes me happy. There's, Gene Kelly at his best. He's dancing around, jumping off of walls and doing all kinds of crazy shit. And Debbie Reynolds, of course, Carrie Fisher's mom, is like, she was America's sweetheart at the time. So this is sort of her in her heyday. Great movie. Just a really feel good, happy movie. And it makes me, it's sort of my ultimate cozy movie for sure.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm going to throw in for my last one a TV show. I'm going to put in Grey's Anatomy. That goes without saying. But the one I really feel like on Christmas Day I could just put it on and cozy up all day by the fire to watch it is Gilmore Girls.
Very good.
So much great cozy content in that, heartwarming.
Nice.
Of course, it takes place in an adorable fictional town in the Northeast, and it's where you wish you were. And it's a lot of fun for me.
Nice. Good choice.
I guess for my last one, I give a shout out first to Titanic. Because that's one of those that's, if it's on, put it on, love it. But I feel like that's sort of all year round. The fallishness that I'm feeling with coziness is a movie that I liked okay, I guess, when I first saw it. But it has become in my top 20. Don't think it's crack top 10, but Good Will Hunting. And for whatever reason, that movie has really, really, really grown on me over the years. And it's, in a weird way, comforting. There are just particular moments in there that I love for one reason or another. The feel of it, the thought behind it. Robin Williams scene on the bench to him. Like, he's like, you think, love, but have you, done all this, painting, you could, tell me this artist, but have you looked up at the Sistine Chapel and all that? I could watch that over and over. And that's perfect and beautiful. I swear it won him the Oscar. Son of a bitch stole my line at the end. I got to go see About a Girl. That's just so many things about that movie that if it's on TV, I'm probably stopping down to watch it.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
Yeah.
Good choices. Nice work, guys. I think these are all very cozy choices.
Yeah.
Or a good, we all have different ones. It's so fun.
Something for everybody.
All right. In the spirit of coziness, we want to wish everyone happy holidays.
Yes.
Whatever you're celebrating.
Yes. Life Day.
That we are. Yeah. Like Life Day. Shout out to Chewy.
Festivus. Whatever you celebrate. Christmas.
Yeah.
Things.
And, it's been a tough year and it's a tough holiday season because, we can't be together and there's some people out there who might be alone this Christmas, but you got us. We're here. And, we appreciate
you.
No, we're always here. We appreciate you all so much for listening. So thank you for listening. We hope you have a great holiday. And, we're not going anywhere. We'll be here next week.
Yeah. And next week, we got the Snappies.
Oh, boy, guys. Big week. This is a huge event. The first annual. This is a big award show. Everybody knows about it, obviously.
Dress up.
It's in all the news. We're going to be wearing our best, our biggest gowns, our best gowns, right?
The press release comes out tomorrow.
Yeah. Big episode next week. If you have a nominee, you know what these awards are for. If you have a nominee for a Snoppy, favorite actress, actor, moment, scene, anything in pop culture, interview on the show,
anything you liked,
send it to us, tweet at us, send it Instagram, whatever. It's gonna be a big show, guys. So exciting.
And if you'd like to nominate something, you can find us on the Twitter at SnopOdcast. 1D.
Or you can go on Instagram and Facebook at She Nerds Out Podcast.
You can send us an email to shenerdsout@gmail.com. And so you don't miss the big Snoppy Awards next week, you should just subscribe to this podcast. And that way it'll show up. You don't have to do anything. And if you could leave us a review and give us a rating, that'd be great too.
And in the spirit of Christmas, make it a good one. If you want.
Please.
Don't leave us cold. Don't leave cold. Don't leave us a lump. All right. On that note, ladies, ho, ho, ho. She Nerds
out. Happy Life Day.
She nerds out. We're girls that like dirty things. Dirty things.
Oh, Lumpy.